PVLAN, short for private VLAN, is a networking technology used to further segment and isolate network devices within a single VLAN. It provides a higher level of network isolation and security, which is very beneficial for improving the security, performance, and resource utilization of the network. Let's go through some easy steps to configure PVLAN. First, to build the simulation for the configuration, you need at least 3 computers and a manageable Ethernet switch, which we are using today, is a VCOM 8010GX2. Power up all devices and connect your computers to your desired ports via Ethernet cable. Here we are using ports 4, 6, and 8 of the Ethernet switch for our computer A, B, C respectively. We are going to use the same assigned port throughout the process for our configurations. To start the configuration, on computer A, open up the Internet browser and enter the Ethernet switch IP address in the search box, which here is 192.168.10.1. Enter the username and password on the web GUI, and then click Login. Click on the VLAN option. In VLAN settings, we are going to set up 3 different VLANs for our 3 computers. You can choose any random unique number for each VLAN ID. Let's say we choose the first VLAN to be 10. Simply enter 10 in the VLAN ID box and click Add. Add VLAN 20 and VLAN 30 in the same way. Once you've added them, click Submit without setting any parameters for now. Now, navigate to the PVLAN settings drop-down, and click the first option PVLAN settings. There are 3 types of PVLANs: the isolated VLAN, the community VLAN, and the primary promiscuous VLAN. In an isolated VLAN, communication is restricted between individual ports within the VLAN and the only communication is done with the promiscuous port. In community VLAN, ports within the same VLAN can communicate with each other unless they are on an isolated port, or in a different community VLAN, within the same VLAN. While we use primary VLAN as a gateway for communication between isolated and community VLANs, devices within isolated and community VLANs can communicate with devices in the promiscuous VLAN, but they cannot directly communicate with each other. We will choose primary type for the VLAN 10, as we want it to communicate with the other VLANs. Because we want to isolate the communication between VLAN 20 and VLAN 30 but allow them to communicate with VLAN 10, we choose isolated PVLAN type for the rest of the VLANs. Once set up, click Submit. Now to assign the settings to our desired ports, which we chose to be port 4, 6, and 8 in the beginning. Click on the PVLAN port settings option under the PVLAN settings drop-down menu. Change the type of port 4 to promiscuous and select VLAN ID 10. Change the type of ports 6 and 8 to host and set VLAN IDs to 20 and 30 respectively. Because VLAN 20 and VLAN 30 need to communicate with VLAN 10. Under the Private VLAN Association option, assign the primary VLAN of VLAN 20 and 30 to be 10. Once set up, click Submit. After this configuration, the computer A on port 4 will no longer be in the default VLAN 1 of the Ethernet switch, so will no longer have the access to the switch configuration web page. To confirm whether the configuration is a success, ping computer B and C from computer A, and ping computer B and C from each other. If the computer A can communicate with the rest, but computer B and C cannot communicate with each other, you have successfully configured the PVLANs. To access the configuration web page later, you will need to connect your computer to any port not assigned to any PVLANs. Thanks for watching. To learn more about VCOM Ethernet switches, please subscribe.